in this discussion even though you're not old enough for it. So I say, before I give my presentation, everybody, not ambassadors, you are listening. Your work is to listen. There's nothing to write here. Everyone, write for me, because you're the one who gave me this topic. Write for me why you think you want to get married or why you want to marry. Just one statement, write. And I will read out all those answers for as many as you are. And I took my time. And I was not skipping anyone. You must give me your paper back. And I had this handful of answers. And I took them to the pulpit. And we began to read why people want to get married. You will laugh at it, but I know it's the same reason you got married and you're disappointed today. It's the same reason. So we got into that discussion until someone sent me a question during our Q&A written and said, can you just handle something on homosexuality, pornography, and masturbation? So quickly I knew there's a problem. There's a problem. We began to handle those topics, and the questions were numerous. When we were done with that session, it's almost 7 p.m. A group of young ones came to me and said, we must talk to you before we go. Before you go, I know you want to go. It's 7. I know you want to go, but we must talk to you. So I said, fine, let's talk. What did we leave out? And they have nothing to hide. And they said, we are lesbians. And there's no one who's willing to listen to us. These are church members. These are our children. And there's no safe, they call it a safe space in church to talk about it. So someone asked me, how can I go about it, Pastor, without having to be told that I must leave my girlfriend or boyfriend? No, this is girl boy. Eh? A fellow girl, she calls that person boyfriend or what? So if she calls her boyfriend, it means the girl is a what? The man. If it's girlfriend, boyfriend, then she is the woman. And they say, what? I don't feel like leaving her right now. How do I fight it? I say, am I talking to church members? Are you guys members of this church? They say, yeah, we are members of this church. And I wondered, what are your parents saying about it? They say, they don't know. They don't know. Then there was a little commotion at around 5. And I saw elders move with some young kids to the vestry, the church. 2 boys and 1 girl, around age 4, 5. So when I'm standing with these girls, one of them tells me, I need help. I say, what for? They say, how do you handle a 4-year-old child who's an addict of pornography? Mtu anipatie mtoto yake hapa ya 4 years. Nani yako 4 years hapa? Nani yako 4 years? Nani yako 4 years? Mama wewe hujafika hata 2 yao. Ai mama. Uko how old? Uko how old mama? 2. Nani yako 4 years old? Adasa come mama. Come mama, come. Come. Sasa mama, nywele yako mzuri. Wamekuambia nywele yako ni smart. Nani alishuka wewe? Mama, very nice. Good. Ukirudi nyumbani mwambie alikushika mzuri. Mimi nataka tu tusimame na wewe hapa tuhubiri. That girl is 4 years. So when I say 4 years, this is the person I'm talking about. Huh? A girl 4 years, an addict of pornography. Adasaka, kaa kwa kiti mama. So I asked the girl, mama yako anajua? Sema mama yangu anajua. Alifanya nini? Alimchapa. See how stupid parents can get. Alimchapa. Didn't bother to dig deep. Alimchapa. So before we finish the discussion, the girl comes. And the other girls in ambassador say, ndio huyu sister yake, ndio huyu. I shed a tear. Because that is the age of Nana and Dindin, my twins. And I'm asking, Nana, Dindin, feeding on porn every single day. So when we are done, an elder comes to me and tells me, I saw a young girl come to you there. I say, yeah, what's wrong? So that girl was caught in the toilet with 2 boys having sex. How old are the boys? They are 4 years. Both boys are 4. The girl is 4. Caught having sex in the toilet, church toilet. So that was the commotion at 5. So what did you do to them? They began with the suspect. Do you know the suspect? Who's the suspect in that group? The boy. And they began and say, mulikuwa mnafanya nini huyu msichana? And the boy saying, hapana, ni yeye alituambia. That girl stepped out and said, wewe, nilikuambia usiseme. The small girl. Nitakupiga niliwaambia msiseme. The small girl. Where does she even get that strength? These are 4-year-olds. So when I sit with parents like this and they say, that topic is too big for our ambassadors. We are talking about, hii group ndogo inaitwa nini? Igabiba. We unasema ni kubwa for ambassador, na mimi naongea na pornography addict wa 4 years. And is that what pornography does to you? Your mind is always thinking sex. That you just want someone you can actually have that sex with. So when this girl comes to church, what she does, she identifies kids her age and teaches them how to do what? Have sex. I thought church is the safest place. That when I drop my girl in church with my car and I say nimeenda kuosha gari, mukimaliza class na kuja kukuchukua, only to learn that your child was actually having sex in the toilet. They are also caught in school doing those things in the toilet. And a parent does not even care. You don't even know what is going on. The best you can do when you're told is spank your child. And I was wondering, this mother, has she even dug deep to find out how did it start? So I asked the sister, alianza aje ati kwa neighbor, a neighbor introduced a child into porn. And you keep on saying, my kids are comfortable at Mama Nani's place. Let me rush to the market, niangalilie ninarudi. Beba watoto yako kwa mgongo, enda nayo kwa chiro. Ishara ya kuwacha mtoto, ati nimewaachia Sophie mtoto. I trust her. Sophie ni kamati yangu. Ujui hata watoto ya Sophie wanakaaje. And that is how they grow slowly. By the time they're getting into high school, they turn out to be lesbians. They turn out to be gay. And there's no reverse gear. And there's nothing you can do about it. And technically the devil has locked them out of where? Of heaven. Where were you at that time? So Proverbs says, train up a child in the way he should go, and when he grows, he will not depart from it. The secret lies in training. How do you understand training? Is training for you taking a child to Sabbath school class? That is what you call training. You are wrong. How much have you invested in your child in terms of time, in terms of finances that go into their training? How much? And I can assure you, those women that are here with me, we hardly have time for our children. Most of us, we are busy looking for money. Because last time I checked, the mother is the first teacher in the first school, which is the home. How much time do you have for your child? And the training, I was reading the book Child Guidance today in the morning, and White says that training begins at babyhood. The moment you hold your child in the hand, the training begins there. But does it begin for us there? No. You are in a hurry to finish your maternity leave and go back to work. In fact, in your status on your phone, we keep reading, any leads to a DM, that's a domestic work. You want us to find you a DM. I'm soon going back to work. And we didn't even bother who's the DM, where do they come from, what values do they hold. Do we bother? We don't. What you bother is that you don't lose your job. And even when you come back late in the evening, you have no time with those kids. And at times the one defiling them is actually the DM. I know of kids that are today lesbians, courtesy the one they stayed with in the what? In the house. The one they stayed with in the house. So let us stop burying our heads in the sand as a church and continue to live like these issues are not in our church. They are here. We have homosexuals in our church, whether they're gay, they're lesbians, whether they're bisexual, they are right in this church. We have transgenders in this church. We have intersex people in this church. Intersex for me is a biological issue. I wonder why it's jumbled up in this whole group. But these guys have no space to express themselves. I'm not saying we give them space. I am saying they need help. But we have demonized the whole thing. Of course, it's a demon. But the moment you hear a young person says, I am a lesbian, I need help, you run away. I have met one young man who has told me, I approached my church pastor, and that is how it ended my discussion with him. Because the first thing you think of as a church pastor who is a man, you're thinking, this guy will one day also turn me into a what? Into a gay. The pastor avoided it like that. Another pastor came in, avoided it like that. The guy is struggling to get married. He says, Pastor, I want to get married, but once I get married, I will transform into a bisexual because I am gay and I'm sleeping also with my wife. I want to handle it right now before I marry. And he is way past marriageable age. Adventists live like these things don't happen. The happy Sabbath. Happy Sabbath again. Panda mlima. Panda. Wale wanaenda, wasisumbue wale wanabaki. Wale wanabaki, wasisumbue wale wanaenda. And those things happen right in what? A church. The environment we are living in today, the one introducing your child into it is not a stranger. Is actually the ambassador's teacher, the youth teacher, the children's teacher. So you can't trust your child with anyone. Proper training must take place at home. When my children leave home, are they armed with certain basics that when they know they should be running away? Are they armed? Are you doing your bit? I take my time. My kids leave to go to church, and we must repeat a whole lesson of if someone touches you, what do? Box him on the nose, scream, run. That is an anthem in my house. No one should see your private part. No one should touch it. Mtu akishika akiona unafanya nini? Piga yeye kwa mapua. Piga nduru. Fanya nini? Toroka. Is how I teach it. And they know. But you see, you think we are in heaven already. You think when your child comes through that gate, they have entered heaven. They're not. So Lot went out to them through the doorway, shut the door behind him and said, please, my brethren, do not be so wickedly. Do not do so wickedly. See, now I have 2 daughters who have not known a man. Please let me bring them out to you, and you may do to them as you wish. Only do nothing to these men, since this is the reason they have come under the shadow of my roof. And they said, stand back. Then they said, this one came in to stay here. And he keeps acting as a judge. They had reached a point, good has become evil. Evil has become good. If you're sounding like you are normal, you're actually abnormal. Now we will deal worse with you than with them. So they pressed hard against the man Lot and came near to break down the door. But the men reached out their hands and pulled Lot into the house with them and shut the door. And they struck the men who were at the doorway of the house with blindness, both small and great, so that they became weary trying to find the door. Then the men said to Lot, have you anyone else here, son-in-law, your sons, your daughters, and whomever you have in the city? Take them out of this place, for we will destroy this place, because the outcry against them has grown great before the face of the Lord, and the Lord has sent us to destroy. Finally, verse 14. So Lot went out and spoke to his sons-in-law, who had married his daughters. So it means Lot had other what? Children. Get up. Get out of this place. For the Lord will destroy this city. But to his sons-in-law, he seemed to be joking. Like I'm joking right now that Christ is coming. Someone is saying, we unajuaje? Tuliambiwa mpaka buying and selling ikuje ndio tutajua Yesu amefanya nini. Anakuja. I want to finish up this discussion. Listen to how Spirit of Prophecy puts it. The mob had wearied themselves out and departed. And Lot went out to warn his children. They laughed at what they called his superstitious fears. And today you talk about the coming of Christ, they say you are reading too much to it. His daughters were influenced by their husbands. They were well enough off where they were. They could see no evidence of danger. Everything was just as it had been. They had great possessions, and they could not believe it possible that beautiful Sodom would be destroyed. How? Huyu Mungu siawache ni ishi hata kwa hii nyumba yangu 1 year ndiye akuje. Unafikiri hiyo 1 year si kuna watu wamezaliwa? Sophie. Au pia wanataka achelewe tena nini? 1 year ndio akuje. Though daily distressed at beholding deeds of violence, he had no true concern